Hello, everybody.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Gloria. Very welcome.
Thank you so much.
Well, everybody on this chat, welcome to yet another exciting Ask Me session. This will be our 7th in the series for the Harmony Data Science Summer 2022 cohorts. I'm happy to have you here with me. Gloria, welcome. Richard, you're welcome. Yeah, good day to you. You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. Before we start, I just want to say this is a very, well, this was rather a very busy week for everyone, I guess. Joining your premier project groups, organizing your meetings, that's to select your team leads, that's project leader, assistant project leader, and query analyst. So, and also at the same time going through the course for this stage. So, but to remind you, this stage B ends 16th of August, which is on Tuesday, right? So, as you are organizing for your project, also remember that the course is ending on the 16th. But mind you, after when the stage B is ending, you'll be given time to complete your project and whatever. So I just want to clear that now before moving on. So, Mr. David, you're very welcome. Without wasting time, if you just have a question, just shoot. I'm happy to answer. While we wait for that. Okay.
You have actually answered the question I wanted to ask with your
Okay.
opening remarks. So yeah, I was wanting to ask if time would be given for the project submission and all. That's one question I wanted to ask.
Okay. Yes, like I said, it will be given after the end of stage B. You'll be given time to complete your premium project. So you don't have any problem with that. And also for this stage B, somebody asked a question. Let me just answer it here. Submitting of your tag along code as your assessment form is only for the data science and data engineering track. So if you're in data storytelling, you notice there's no form or whatever for you to fill. And also the Devops track. It's just the data science and the data engineers that will be submitting the tag along code. So let me just clear that out now. So any other questions? Guessing already used to the platform and the whole internship. And also to remember us, as to reiterate, we're having a compulsory technical webinar on Saturday. So I guess you've already received the mail and also checked the Slack channel for the info. So attendance will be taken. So by now, I'm sure you already have all the info. Attendance will be taken. Normally, if you can't join on Zoom, that's when you didn't log in on time. You can always join in on YouTube, ask your questions on Slido. So all the info I already given to you, so I don't need to reiterate on that. I'm just trying to remind everyone that on Saturday, August 13th, is an important and compulsory technical webinar. So that being said, any other question? Adinka, you're welcome. Isaac, you're welcome. Okay. So if there's no question so far, I just want to ask, how has the team meeting been? That's for your different premier project group? Has it been exciting? Have you racked your heads to know the data set or whatever problem statement you want to come up with? So you can just share that, or your questions or observations whatsoever you've seen so far.
Okay, for me, it's been an exciting experience, right? Because got to meet some new persons and got to hear them say some things that I'm now like, are you sure this is for me? Are you sure I'm not being left behind like this? But then it's interesting anyway. I like the fact that we were mixed up. Like it's not just because for me, I'm in the data storytelling track. So getting to meet other people from other tracks, that's exciting and interesting. Yeah, that's it for me.
Okay, thank you very much, Glory, for that. Yes, like I said, it has been interesting because I've been noticing the messages in each group because the group, your team members were rightly arranged: data science, data engineers, data storytellers, and also DevOps. So it's a complete team. So I guess that's, like you said, it's very interesting to meet different people, to get to know their ideas and all that. So that's nice. Any other person care to share or ask your questions or suggestions? Okay, Obiabuchi says it has not been easy doing data cleaning. Richard, you have a question? Okay, I guess not.
Hello, sir.
Okay, yeah, you unmuted yourself. You have a question or suggestions or?
I wanted to talk about the practicing and the note they give to us in this stage B for the practicing questions, the code. I tried to replicate those codes, but at the end, I got code error and I didn't miss anything out.
What track are you?
Data science track.
Okay, have you dropped your questions on the Slack channel?
No, I didn't put it there.
Okay, if you're having issues, you can drop it there with the screenshot of the error message you're having. You can answer you, or your fellow interns too that have already passed that stage can also reply. If you notice, you're on the Slack channel, different places have been dropping their error messages, their error codes with screenshots. So we always try to solve it for you. But the course materials there, we've cross-checked and know there's no errors so far. So if you are still having errors, so probably you missed one or two lines of code or something, you can just screenshot the error message you're having there on Slack channel in your track or on Ask Hammer 18 channel. You definitely get a reply.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay, I'm going to answer Obiabuchi's question. He's saying it has not been easy doing data cleaning. Are you in the data storytelling track or data science track? And I'm guessing you're talking about your team's data sets. So of course, data cleaning, data preprocessing is one of the most important parts of data science, and it's very not that quite easy. So you see some very messy data that you have to arrange, clean, do your analysis and whatnot. So definitely to not be easy. Okay, you're saying you're in the data engineering track. So since you're in the data engineering track, and I'm guessing you're in a team, so we already arranged the team completely. You can still have a team where you have your teammates that are data storytellers or data scientists too. You guys can come together and work on something. Of course, you can surely do it. Okay, there's another question from Jibra. He's saying, can machine learning models be built on time series data sets? Of course, yes, you can. You can. There are several, apart from that, there are several problem statements you can drop from a time series data sets, of course. So that's why, of course, you're in a team. You guys should do your research to see what you're trying to solve or what you want to build or whatnot. So, and since you're in a data science, I'm guessing you're in a data science track, in a particular stage, you get to work with time series. Yeah, you get to work with time series data. So that's to answer your question about that. But I'm guessing you're talking about your premier project group. So you guys should come up together and see how you can solve that or what to achieve from the data sets. Okay. Any other questions? If you can't, you're in a noisy place, you can drop your questions in the chat. We'll definitely reply. Samuel, you're welcome. So you just joined. Chidubem, you're welcome. Okay, Samuel, you can unmute. You can unmute and ask your question.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Yeah, I want to ask a question concerning the data set given. Some of us we've checked it and we've seen how the data is. So I'm trying to ask that, is there a way if you can just get another data if you are not okay with that data set? Like, is that allowed?
Okay, like I said previously, the data set shared to everybody. It's a kind of like an open source data that most places have already worked with. So, but in your team, you found out that there's a way you can work with it. That's probably you guys have not drawn up the problem statement yet. Excuse me. Yes, of course, you can request for another data set, but data set that have not been assigned to another team. So then we'll do a review and see if it will be your request will be accepted or not. But of course, if you see you can't work with a particular data set, you can of course request for another. But mind you, the way the data set was shared, it's an open source data that everybody can work with. You can always draw your statements, your problem statement from it. But you can also request and see if your request will be accepted or not.
All right, sir. I have another question. So, the data science track, I think stage B, I think it was based on regression, and the data set we are given, we are trying to like pick up. We are trying to pick up a response variable. Definitely, it's going to turn out to be a classification problem. Can we move on with classification problem? Meanwhile, what we were taught in stage B is on regression.
Well, I didn't get a question. Are you talking about the data sets for your premier project or
yes,
stage
sir.
B?
The data set we are given.
Okay.
It's obvious that the response variable is going to be a classification problem.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to say is that what we actually taught in stage B is on regression. Like, can we just do the project on classification instead of regression?
Yes, of course. Like I said, of course, it depends. Your data set is unique. So if you notice what you can solve with the particular data sets, if you are drawing up a regression problem or classification problem, of course, you are free to move ahead with it. So it depends on how you understood your data set. So it's not only limited to regression problems. No, you can, if it's part of like classification, you can also do that.
Okay, all right, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome. Okay, there's a question in the chat saying we got so many CSV files and the debate is on merging them together. My teammates are suggesting we ignore some of it. Are we in order? Okay, also, is there any hands-on work for Devops stage B? Can we build more than one model, let's say ARIMA and linear regression? Okay, to answer your first question, Jiba. Okay, so from your data set, you got so many CSV files. Okay, it still depends on how your teammates want to do it. If you want to merge them together or select whatever you want to select. So far, you come up with a particular problem statement on trying to solve a particular issue with the data set. Anyhow you go about working with your data sets, it's left to you, your teammates to agree on. Then for your second question, for also, is there any hands-on work for DevOps stage B? No, like if you notice in DevOps track, if you're in DevOps track, we sent a message there that for this stage B, it's just like more of like introduction to DevOps. You won't be doing any part of what we call lab for this stage B, but for stage C, you might be having more than one labs to work with. That's hands-on work for you to do. So this stage B is just like an intro to it. But stage C is as if you are coming fast, as you are giving to you fast. But for this stage B, it's just like an introduction. You won't do any kind of hands-on work or lab or any of that. So if you're in the Slack channel, you should see that message, really pass that message across in the Slack channel for DevOps track. Then your third question, which says, can we build more than one model? Let's say ARIMA and linear regression. Like I still said, it depends on your team. Whatever you want to solve, that's for your teammates to decide. You can do if you want to do more than one model or whatever. So far, you're coming up with a solid presentation and you're solving a particular problem. So whatever way you go about it is left for the team. And also, shortly, definitely will tell you how to go about the presentation or how you should go about your project. You surely get the message on Slack announcement channel or to your mail. So always keep an eye out for all information from Hamoye. So I guess I've answered your question, Mr. G-Bar. Okay, any other question? You can just signify by using the hand emoji. Then I'll ask you to unmute. Okay, Simon, you have another question. You can unmute.
Okay. So my question is, in some cases, you might not be reasonable to pick up any of the variable as response. So is it compulsory to to build a model? Is it compulsory on data set? Is it compulsory, or we can just analyze it and just answer some questions instead?
Okay, yes. To answer your question, a particular group asked that question before. And like I said, your data sets is specific. Some data sets you would notice that you can't drop like a model. You can always, it's fine to do your analysis, exploratory data analysis, get insights from the data. So your data set is specific to that, what you're trying to solve. From your analysis, you can say, okay, this is what was gotten. Let me just give an example. For example, you are working with a sales data set. From your analysis, you can see that from a particular campaign, when the company started this campaign, they got more sales in so period of time or what's not. So it's not necessary you build a model from it. So that's why I said your data sets might be specific. So you need to come up with a particular problem you want to solve. So that is accepted also.
Okay. All right, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome. Okay, any other question? You can drop it in the chat. If you're in a noisy place, you can signify with the hand emoji and I'll ask you to unmute. Okay, for the benefit of those just joining, I'll answer this again. For your tag along codes, if you notice that in data storytelling, you are not to submit any tag along codes, you won't see any form to fill. It's just basically for the data science and data engineering tracks that I'll be submitting a tag along codes. So once you're starting a quiz, you should see all the information on the platform. That's to answer that before anybody asks that particular question. Okay, any other question? Yeah, shoot. You can shoot and ask your question. Relating to stage B or the premier project or your teammates or what's not. And also to reiterate, if you are here, you're in a part of a particular group, you notice your team lead, you've not selected your team leads at all. You have to do that on time to submit the names and the email. That's the Gmail account of your project lead, your assistant project lead, and the query analyst. So if you haven't done that, you have to do that fast. Okay. So any other observation, question? What not? If you've done the quiz or rather you're having issues with the codes or the materials in the platform?
I have a question.
Okay. Yeah. You can ask next. I'll give you.
As this project is a premier project is going on, can one carry on with the complete task? In fact, doing the project end to end on its own.
Okay, I didn't get the question.
So can I carry on? Yes, yeah, carry on with it. I would approach it on my own individually, though not submitting the whole thing to the group anyway.
No, that's the idea is you are in part of a group. You cannot just continue it on your own. you should have a by now you should know your team members and your group. You guys should organize and do it, because if a particular group, I'll still say this again, if a particular group does not perform well, it will affect the full members. So you working solo, that won't be helpful to your teammates at all. So, but probably what you're saying is, if you want to work on it on your own to develop yourself better, that's fine. But you have to come together as a group and your team, so you guys should drop a solution to that.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Adeinka, you can ask a question. Adeinka, you can ask your question.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. My question is regards this stage 2. Okay, unlike stage 1, actually, I find the material in the course, I find it very, very, shall I say, difficult to understand. And I've been on it now since the last week, and I still haven't gotten some things on it.
Okay, what track are you?
I mean, data science.
Okay, data science. Okay, what particular part or lesson in this stage 2 we are having difficulties with? How have you gone about it? Have you asked your question on the Slack channel, or have you done, for example, a particular concept you don't understand? Have you done your own personal research? Because if you notice on the lesson, I think it should be in lesson 4. There's some recommended videos for you to watch. I don't know if you've gotten to that part. So I'm just trying to ask the question: how far have you gone to? Have you done your personal research, trying to see whatever concept you don't understand, you search online to see how you can have help, or ask a question in the Slack channel? So what have you done so far about that?
Okay, so what I did is to just try to okay, I went through the course materials and then I tried to run the codes, and then I got error in some places. I've not gotten to the part where I had recommended videos, and I've not really done any research online, because the way I did with stage A was I went through the materials and I practiced with that, and I was able to pull through. So maybe I just need to do more for this stage B, but really the course materials are not adding up for me at all. But I'll try and look through the course and check for the recommended videos if that would be helpful. I've not seen anything like that.
Okay. To answer that, if you are active in the data science track, somebody has asked this question before. We've dropped the link to the videos. And also, like I said in stage A, I said stage A might be easy, you'll be going along with it, but stage B, it will take your time for you to do and try to understand each concept slowly at your own pace, but not too slowly, because it's a span of 2 weeks. So the best way to answer your question is just to do your further personal research. Since each particular lesson or a code you don't understand, just go to that. To fast track, you just go to lesson 4. You see the video links there, and also you can check the data science track channel on Slack. You will see the video links there. You can use that to further help you in your study. So you just to do personal research on it. If you can't rely solely on the materials, definitely you can do more research online and search for it. That's how you can help yourself. Okay. There's a question in the chat saying, is there hands-on for those of us in Devops, say during stage C or so? It's totally new to us. Okay, talking about Ask Me session. Yes, of course, for Devops, you'll be having, let's say from stage C to stage D, a hands-on session like the one we did the last time. Definitely you will be having that, but if that's to happen, get the information across to you. That's for DevOps. So, yes, I've answered that question. Any other question you can signify by raising your hands and okay. Zamula, you can ask a question.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, welcome.
Yeah, so my question is, in the event where for this premier project where we have some people not actively participating in the group, can we go ahead with other people who are responding?
Okay, you weren't that audible, but from what I got from the question, I'm saying some persons are not active in your group.
Did you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You're saying some persons are not active in your group. Is that what you're saying? I can't hear you clearly. Okay, you know what? Can you just drop your question in the chat?
Can you hear me? Yes, yes. Can we just
You can just drop your question in the chat so I read it.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. If I got you the first time, you're saying if you can continue without your team. Of course not. Of course not. You have to come up together as a group. Even if you know that in each group there are like 30 plus members. Definitely
Yes.
you might not get the response from the 30 plus members.
Yeah,
So, but the response you are getting,
that's the question.
from the response you are getting, you can drop your project lead, assistant lead, and query analyst. Then carry on to projects, but still try to pass info in your and create whatever means of passing info, and still you're not getting people that are active. Only the active members surely will be graded or whatever. So far they are present in the group and I'm trying to drop questions and suggestions on what to do. Some are still not active. The ones that are active, we can come up together with whatever you want to solve. And the rest can not do about that. But whatever number you're having, you can work with that. So I guess I've answered that.
We're just trying to share the tax, but there's some other people are really active. Like out of 35, we have like 5 people active. So that was a question like, so should I just go at the 5 people active and
Yeah, if that's the number you're having currently, you can go on decisions you want to make, getting your team leads and all that. Then if notice will give you a form for you to fill to know the active members and whatnot. So far at the end of the day, they are in that Slack channel and they are seeing the messages, but they are not active. You can work with the server is active. That's just it.
okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. So please, any other questions signified by using the hand emoji or ask it on mute. Pertaining to the stage B, not understanding concept or your premier project, whatsoever, you can drop your questions. Oh, okay. Jiba is asking for my name. My name is Christian Ajulo. That's my name. Christian Ajulo. Yeah. So, any other questions you can shoot?
Okay, good afternoon, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, I have a question. For importing, that's the custom names, so the column names, that's for the temperatures in Celsius and for the, so do I have to always import it like that? Because, for instance, if we are given a data set wherein the columns are up to like 50, and we're just giving us T1, T2, T3, do we always have to represent it as column names in the data set when we are coding?
Okay, no, you don't have to. If you notice, it's still data set specific. I don't know if you were part of last week hands-on coding session. If
I
you're not,
wasn't.
you can check our YouTube channel, how many YouTube channel, the video is there. So it's not necessary every time you call the column name. So that's just specific for that particular data set and the way they work with it. So that's just like a way of wrangling your data. So it's not specific. There are different ways you go about processing your data or whatever in data science. So if you go back to that video, you see how we did it. You don't necessarily call the column names. You have a lot of columns, so you don't have to do that. That was just done for that data set and like it was like a particular style for that. Do you understand?
So if you don't do it like that, how, and for instance, we're answering a question, like for instance, we're answering the quiz questions, and you tell us from, and you don't use the key, you don't use the code names that they use, like X1, X2, and you used like, for instance, like temperature in Celsius. Do we always have to go back there to check it?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure if I'm
Okay.
introducing clearly. What I'm saying is that if since you don't watch that video, just go back to that video. You understand what I'm trying to say. Like
All
for
right.
this stage B, that's the course material. They did hitting pulling load, right? That was their X and Y target. So that was for that particular data set. Yeah, you don't always have to call that name like that. If you just go back to that video, you understand what I'm trying to say. Let's with that in the previous Ask Me session for last week.
Thank you. I'll make sure I watch it. Thanks.
Okay. Okay. Any other question? Just signify by raising your hand. Then I'll ask you to unmute. Okay, before that, there's a question in the chat. Let me just read it out. Okay, concerning the penalization methods, do we only use lasso and ridge for penalization, or can we use other methods for other models for penalization? And also, when do we carry out penalization tests on our data before getting the best model to use, or after getting the model? Okay. If you read the course material, that's the text, not the code for ridge and lasso. These are two penalization methods for checking if your model is overfitting or underfitting. So that's a particular function for the ridge and lasso. Then there are other penalization methods, of course. So I'll leave that to you to do your further research on that. And also, apart from penalization methods, you can also use what we call, you can evaluate your model using evaluation metrics, the mean absolute error, root mean square error, mean mean square error and all that. So it depends on what you are working with and how you understand your data set. Then you can further do your research. There's no limits to that. So you can use other penalization methods. You can just search on Google for the official documentation. You'll see whatever you're looking for. So I guess I've answered that particular question. If I have dropped it in the chat, I can just signify by saying yes or no. Guessing who asked that question was David. You're wrong. Yeah. So any other question? Okay. David, you wanted to go? Okay, there's another question in the chat saying, I'll read it out. Error handling has been an issue. How do you know what to do at every error you encounter? Okay. If you notice in your Jupyter notebook or Colab or whatever, whenever you're having an error, just scroll down to the last part of the error message. You'll see a particular name, be it value error, syntax error, or model not found, or name not found. With that, you can, and they will tell you the particular line of code that's showing that error. So that's the first step to understand how to solve error. And after that, you will now go back to your code and see where you are missing it. Then if it's a value error or key error or whatever, if you still don't understand from the code, you can just Google that particular error. You see answers all over the Stack Overflow, this for this. So the first way to know your error is to go down to the last part of the error message. You see, they'll write it so error, and they'll tell you the particular line of code. If you're on Collab, after the error message, you even see an option to say search on Stack Overflow if you're working on Google Colab. So that's the one way of handling error message. So you go back, it will show you the line of code that's showing the error, then try to solve it from there. If you still can't, you go online and you see how to solve that. So I hope I've answered that question. David is saying the second part. Okay, what was the question? How do we carry out penalization tests on our data before getting the best model to use or after getting the model? To know your penalization method, first of all, you should already create your model first, and with the score, if you're on regression, the first score is the R2 score. After doing your metrics and all that, you notice if your model is scoring well or not. You can further do your penalization method. It's before and after. There's no way you can do it after. You should first of all draw up your model first. That's how you know if your model is good or not. So I guess I've answered the second part. Okay, thank you very much. You said I answered that question correctly. Okay, any other question you can? Okay, thank you. You're very welcome. You can signify by using the hand emoji. I'll unmute you. And as a reminder, August 13, which happens to be tomorrow, is our technical webinar. And that's an important one. You just have the message already been passed on Slack channel and your email, so you should know about that. Okay, Isaac, you can unmute yourself and ask a question.
Okay, good afternoon, Christian.
You're very welcome. Good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you for the Ask Me session so far. I followed up with the last Ask Me session where we tried to work on a model for the cars data set. So we randomly chose 4 regression algorithms, which was the random forest, car boost, and all of that. So I wanted to find out, like, what's the criteria like for choosing? What's the criteria for choosing the algorithms? That kind of thing. Like, we have to go through doing the random. If it doesn't work, we have to now look for another set of algorithms to choose from again. Is that not like, or based on the data set, we can induce which would most likely be fit to test instead of based on like time and all of that. So just let me confirm.
Okay. In a way, you've answered the question partly. Okay, first of all, you have to understand your data. That's your data set. Then you have to understand what you are working with, if it's a regression problem or a classification problem. So by now you should know what's the regression problem. You are trying to predict numbers, basically numbers. Then for your classification, I'm trying to classify this from that. If a particular patient has heart disease or not, yes or no, has diabetes or not, yes or no. But for regression problems, like the one we did, you're predicting the price of cars, or the price of housing, of then other problem statements. That's the first one. So if you know what you're working with, if it's regression, then secondly, you are working with, since you're using scikit-learn library, if you go, there's a link, I'll drop that probably later on the Slack channel. There's a link on the documentation for scikit-learn. They dropped how you will know a particular algorithm to use for a particular data set. If you can remember clearly, for your data set with rows or the total number of data set less than 10,000 or so, less than 1,000, you can use linear regression. For a problem higher than that, they'll tell you what to use. So if you go on scikit-learn documentation, that's working with supervised learning, you will see they drew it like an infographics. They'll tell you which is best to use for which. So you need to know your data sets. So that's what I was saying. You cannot just start working with data science or machine learning without going back to the documentations. These documentations are there. It's not rocket science. So there's a link in scikit-learn documentation for supervised learning in machine learning. They'll show you what, since they have different algorithms, random forest and rest from scikit-learn, they'll tell you which will serve you best So I would suggest you just go on scikit-learn and check the documentation for supervised learning. They will show you and give you a roadmap on which to use best. So I don't know if I've answered that. So I've answered that question clearly for you to understand.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Okay, any other question? Signify with the hand emoji. The hand emoji. We have like less than 15 minutes for today's session. Then just shoot, ask your questions pertaining to the course, or okay, there's a question in the chat. I'll just read it out. Okay, it's like this is a suggestion, not really a question. It says from the problem definition, you would know what type of regression problem it is. Yes, of course, you know what type of, not just what type of regression problem, what type of problem you're trying to solve, if it's classification or regression. That's under supervised learning. Yeah. So from the problem statement of your data set, you know the way your data is arranged, you definitely know what you're trying to solve and how to deduce which will be your target variable. Like the last one we did, our target variable was the amount, because we're trying to predict an amount a particular company will sell the cars with the data they got. Because if we had different other columns, the make, the year, the type, the use, that's Nigerian use, foreign use, or whatever. So from those different data they've gotten, we're trying to predict the amount. So that's what we did. So from the data, you would know. So try to understand the problem statement first of all, you know what you're working with. Okay, thank you for that suggestion, Demola. Any other question? Any other question? Any other question? Or suggestion so far? Or your experiences so far with your team, with your group? Some group have already submitted their names, some have not submitted their team leads. So we have to do that because there's a deadline for that. And also, I would advise that every one of us should try and be an active member in your group. It will help you at the end of the internship. If you are not an active member, there's a grade and a score attached to that. And if you skip a particular part, that's you're not an active member in this premier project, let me just say you won't have your certificate at the end of the day, because it's part of the deliverables, which is the quiz, your tag along codes, the premier projects, important attendance to important webinars will tell you, then your capstone project at the end of the internship. So you have to be active. If you're not active, it's to your detriment. So that's what I have to say about that. And also the stage B is almost coming to an end. It's ending on the 16th, which is on Tuesday next week. So if you're still distracted with your premier projects, you can still focus on your stage B project, because after stage B, you'll be given the time to focus on your premier projects. And by now, you already know what's the deadline for you to submit your deliverables for your premier project. So all the information have already been passed across to you. So check all the information on the Slack announcement channel and also on your email. So let me just clarify that. So any other questions, suggestions, can we shoot?
Okay, I have a question.
Okay.
It's related to the premier project. I don't know, I just have little idea. I've gone through the notes, but I can't really seem to get. I think there should be a kind of video explaining, or don't these applications too, explaining exactly what you have to do. Or I've gone through the data set and I just found out, like, are we the ones to determine what to do with it, or what exactly?
Okay, like I said before, you are shared in a team with different track people, data science, data storytelling, and whatnot. So it's the team that will come up with what you want to work with, that data set. That's one. And also we'll give you a guideline on what you should do. Like I said, you pass that to your email or on Slack channel. So, but your teammates you guys will work with the data and say, okay, what we're trying to draw, if we're doing an analysis or we're building a model that's an end-to-end model, not just building it. If you can deploy it, that's why we have Devops there too. So it will help you more and give you better grades. So you just left for your teammates for you guys to come together and understand what you want to work with. We'll not be the one to tell you what you will do with your data set. So your team will come up with what you're trying to solve, but we'll give you a guideline on what you're supposed to do. So you get that info about
All right,
that.
thanks. So, I just feel like there should be a demo, like even if it's a kind of something that can just teach us. Like it doesn't have to, you don't have to tell us what to do because we all have different data sets. So I think there should just be a kind of demo, just like tell us, give us a guideline of what we're supposed to do and how to merge, because we want to merge data storytelling with engineering and with DevOps. And everybody wants to feature. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Everybody wants to feature in like to show their, so try to merge it together. I think you are a little bit confused. And most of the guys in my team, we're all beginners. So I'm just not clear in that area.
Okay, like I said, you'll be giving guidelines on what you should do, on how you present your project or whatever. If you notice, okay, for example, you are building a predictive model. We just did a hands-on coding last week. That's on Monday on an Ask Me session. That should be like a form of like a guideline to you. So irrespective of the fact that you all are just beginners, that's why you're a team. You can still join us together. There's nothing you can achieve doing more research on, say, okay, this is what we do. And if you notice in the data set, you see, because it's on cargo, you see for the other discussions already that people have worked with that data set before. From there, you can draw your ideas on what to do. So that's what I just have to say about that. There's no way we tell you that this is what you do, that's this highest.
Thank you very much.
Okay, you're very welcome. All right, any other question? We have less than 10 minutes for today's session. You can just signify by raising your hand and I'll ask you to unmute. So if any other person is not clear about the Premium projects, your group, what you should do, or how to organize your teammates, or the time you should meet. And mind you, if you're setting up any form of meeting, because in your groups, most persons are not in the same time zone. So always signify a particular time zone for the meeting, because we have some people not in the same time zone, GMT +1, GMT +4, +6, or +2, whatever. So you should know a particular time that will be best for everybody in different time zones. So that should be one of the advice. And also, I noticed some other teams have been drawing Google Forms for their teammates to fill. Some have also split themselves into different teams inside the group. Those cleaning, those building the model, those trying to document whatever they document. And also, the job is not left for only the query analyst. Query analyst is to document how you did your project. So you can also have assistance from your teammates, but the query analyst is in charge of giving the deliverables to Hamlet. So just try to work with your team and come up with a solution. So that's what I have to say about that. So any other question we have less than, like I said, less than 10 minutes for today's session. You can shoot, if you're in a noisy place, you can drop your message on the chat. I'll read it out. If we don't have any further suggestions or questions, I can call it a day. So I'm guessing we're all good to go. We understand what we've been saying so far. And attend tomorrow's important technical webinar. If, for example, you join late and you can't join the Zoom, the link for YouTube is also there. So I've already told you how you join, because attendance will be taken. Check the message on the Slack channel. It's already on announcement channel, so you should know what to do. So even if you didn't join on time, you can also join on YouTube, ask your questions on Slido and all that. So, because it's important, attendance will be taken and there are grades for that. So it's an important technical webinar. If, for example, you missed that at the end of the internship, if you got every other thing, it must be detrimental to you. You won't get your certificate. So it's very, very, very important. So I just have to clarify that. So any other questions, suggestions so far? If there's none, I guess we'll call it a day. So I'm saying we're
Do we get? Are we going to get? Sorry, are we going to get attendance link tomorrow, or is it by just you draw up your data from the web?
like I said, if you check the message dropped on the announcement channel, you know what to do. Just check the message. It has already been dropped, so you know what to do.
Okay.
Welcome. So I see there's no further question. Joseph, you have a question?
No.
Okay, you can. Okay, thank you everybody for today's session. This was a wonderful session. It was insightful. So happy we all asked our questions about the premier projects, your stage B, the deliverables and all that. So I wish you good luck in your stage, your quiz and all that, and in your group. And like I'll say, happy coding, doing your research and all that. Thank you very much for this wonderful session. Have a lovely weekend and a nice day. Bye for now. Thank you very much. See you next time. Next, 28, we have these sessions Mondays and Fridays. So the next one will be coming on Monday. If we are not having it, the information will be passed on the Slack channel. Thank you very much for today's session. I'll see you next time. My name is Christian Ajulo. I'm a data scientist and an assistant program coordinator at Hamoye. See you next time. Bye for now.